Please, enough of the same style of shirt that looks so boring at all times. Learn how to make this beautiful ruched shirt you see right here on your screen, which has a three-quarter sleeve with these designs around the sleeve and also a false pocket. You definitely want to continue watching this tutorial because it's beginners friendly. Without much ado, let's get started. So you only need a 1.5 yard of fabric for you to recreate the shirt. If you are from a size 12 below, is okay. But if you are from a size 14 upward, you actually need to have to add at least ½ inch extra, making it 2 yards in total. So right here, I'm making use of a pure cotton fabric, which is white in color, and I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two. So before I folded this into two, all I did was that I divided my largest circumference, which is my hip, because this my shirt will be getting to the hip. I marked the quarter of my hip circumference and added 3 inches extra for allowance, then 2 inches extra for button allowance. Then altogether, I think I was having around 18 inches on fold. So all I did there at the top part of my fabric was that I marked my shoulder of 8 inches, and from that point I marked 8 inches as my shoulder. I came down by 1 inch. So this 1 inch now is actually going to be my shoulder slanting or my shoulder slope. So this is all I did for that top part of my fabric. Now, from that top part of my fabric again, I'm going to mark at least 3/4 of an inch. So this 3/4 of an inch is going to be for my shoulder line and also my joining allowance to the back part of my shirt. So having extended that line now, all my measurements are starting from there. The next I'm going to consider is my button allowance. I usually give this a button allowance of 2 inches as earlier mentioned, and this my ruler I'm using right here is 2 inches wide. So I just place it from the folded part of my shirt and then roll it straight down. So what I'll be doing next is that all my measurements here, I'll be subtracting 1.5 inches from all my vertical measurements. So normally when I'm cutting out my shirt, my chest line is usually 7 inches. So you can see that my 1.5 is placed on my shoulder line. That is, it is subtracted from my vertical lines, right? So I got my chest line of 7 inches. I got my half length on my waistline of 16 inches. So for my shirt length is around the hip area of 23 inches. I added extra 5 inches to the length, making it 28 inches altogether, and additional 1.5 inches for my folding allowance. So if you want your ruchness to be highly pronounced, you can decide to add extra about 10 inches or so, okay, because by the time you fix your rope at the side of your shirt, if you draw or drag it upward, it's going to reduce in length. I mean, the length of your shirt will reduce in length, okay? So I'll move over to the upper part to get my neckline, and all my measurements here will be starting from that button allowance line. So for my neck width, I marked 2.5 inches, and for my shoulder, I marked 7.5 inches. Now I'm extending that shoulder point to my chest line of 7 inches, right? So on that chest line, I divided my bust circumference by 4. I got 9 3/4, and I added extra 2.5 inches, okay? Then at this other part of my armhole, I went up like this by 1 inch so that I can just create this armhole curve. We don't usually do it the normal way we do it when we are making a fitted dress, right? So just do it and curve it out this way, okay? So on my waistline, I did the same thing, quarter of my waist circumference plus 2.5 inches, and watch properly, they are starting from my button allowance line. On the shirt length, I divided my hip circumference by 4 and added 2.5 inches extra as my allowance. So by the time I'm stitching, I'll be stitching together using just 1 inch. I've connected all of these points together, and you can see in total my shirt length is 28 inches, but when I minus or subtract the 1.5 inches, I'm having around 13 inches as the length. So I'll just go on ahead to cut out the base and cut out the sides and now the armhole. So the next I'm going to cut out to be for the back part of my shirt. So I'll get my fabric again and fold it into two. I'll simply get the front part of my shirt, this one right here. So all you're going to do is to make sure button allowance is placed away from the folded fabric, which is going to be used for the back, or you can fold in your button allowance. So right here, I'm just going to fold in my button allowance of 2 inches so that they can align very well, because the back part has no business with a button allowance. Now from the top part, I'm trying to fold at least 2 inches, and the 2 inches has to be on exactly the shoulder line for the front part. So I'm trying to replace the 1.5 inches that was cut out from the front part of our shirt. So I marked the neck width. Okay, you can see there 2.5 inches. I traced it out from the front part, and then on that folded part there, I now made a cut. Okay, so basically all I'm doing here now is to create a round neckline. So remember that this 1.5 inches I replaced right here was the one that was cut out from the front part of our shirt, and the half of an inch will be for the joining to the front part of our shirt. Hope you are not confused. Okay, so now I've created my round neckline for the back shirt. I've got ahead again to pin it back on top of my shoulder line for the front part of my shirt. Now I'm cutting out the base, the sides, and now the armhole. Then at the side of this shirt here, if you want to give it a slight curve, it's okay. I went up by 2 inches. Now I'm going to slant this into this other side this way. If you still want to leave your straight, it's okay, it's totally fine. If you still want to give it a slight curve, it's still okay. So back to the upper part of my shirt, I'll remove the pins I have. Now I'm going to cut out the round neckline I created for the back part of my shirt. So now I've done this, I'm going to place the back part aside because we are done working with the back part. The next I'm going to create the neckline for the front part of our shirt. So I've already gotten my neck width of 2.5 inches, which is actually starting from that button allowance line. Now I'm going to create my neck depth as well, and I'll mark 2.5 inches. I'll firstly create a block neckline, then from there I'll now get a round neckline. This is the best way to actually get to a round neckline. Okay, so this is it, and I'll go ahead now to cut this out. After cutting this out, I'll separate this front piece of my front shirt, and also much that my button allowance line, because it's going to be really useful later, and separate this piece so that it can be two. So I'm going to be cutting out the sleeve for this shirt, but I'll be using the back part of my shirt because it's longer in length on the armhole. Okay, but before that I'll subtract half of an inch, because after joining, when I measure my armhole, this is what I'm going to have. Okay, so from that half inch below, I measured around my armhole, I have 13 inches. So the next thing is to cut out two rope. Okay, two pieces of your fabric like this, that is about 1.5 inches wide, which will serve as our rope. All of this, just keep it one side. Then the next one is for our false pocket. You see this piece I have right here, I'll fold it into two. So in length it is about 4.5 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. This is two in number. Then I'll stitch the sides and leave the base open. Okay, so I'll be cutting out that piece for the sleeve part. Okay, so I have this remnant of my piece right here, which I'm going to fold into four. Then I'll align them properly. So I'm going to mark a straight line so it will be my guide. Then the length of this piece I'll be cutting out for the sleeve is going to be 8 inches long, as you can see right here. Then the width is 1.5 inches. I'll also roll that into a straight line. Then I get the middle of these two lines I have right here, you can see, and at both sides of these lines I'll mark about 2 inches upward, and then slant it into the middle part of this piece. So you can see what I've done so far. So I will now cut this out. All right, so in total I'll be having 4 pieces of this. I don't really know the exact name for this, but I'll just be calling it piece. Okay, then at that other side that is still closed, I'll just go on ahead to separate this. So it's 4 in total. Now when I'm stitching, I'll stitch both sides, at least using cut off an inch at both sides. I'll stitch them together and turn it out from the base. Now this is for the front part of my shirt, which I'll start joining. Firstly, if you don't have a clothes gum, you have to make use of your hemming gum at this point. So I'm going to fold in my button allowance parts. You can see there. Make sure you cut out a clothes gum of 2 inches wide, iron it to your button allowance part, and then when you fold in your button allowance, from the button allowance, fold in again extra half of an inch. Okay, remember it's 2 inches, so I fold in extra half of an inch and stitch it down. All right, so I've done that, as you can see right here. I didn't have a clothes gum, so I didn't iron any of that into mine. So the right sides of my front and back shirts facing each other, I place them on the shoulder and join them using just half of an inch. So this is the right side of my shirt now. I want to be placing or fixing this my false pocket to my shirt, and I want it to be on exactly my chest line. All I did right here was to mark 3 inches away from my button allowance. Now I'm going to be folding this my first pocket, which I already told you initially that you have to stitch both sides and turn it out from the base. Then I also did the same thing for the other side. Your first pocket can actually be on your bust point, but I just wanted mine to be on the chest line. As you can see, I marked it out using my chalk and my ruler. Don't worry, all these things will be washed out thoroughly. Okay, so when I was done stitching this after pinning, you can see what I have. I just ironed these beautiful shiny beads on my first bucket to give it more beauty. All right, so the next I'm going to flip my shirt to the wrong side right now so that I can start joining the sides. So I pin the sides and I'm going to join using just 1 inch. But before that, from the armhole area, I'm going to come down by at least 1 inch and then start marking 1 inch at the sides so that I can easily fix my sleeve even after stitching the sides of my shirt. Okay, or you can fix your sleeve before joining the sides of your shirt. So the next thing now is to actually fix that stuff at the part of at the side of our sleeve. Okay, so I have from the base of my sleeve folded into two, one, two. Then this is the wrong side facing the camera, right? I'm going to put this in between, so you can see this crease line I have on my sleeve, which is the middle of my sleeve. I'll pin it together with this stuff right here for the designs on the sleeve. Okay, so make sure that it is placed on the wrong side of your fabric. So this is the wrong side of my sleeve now facing the camera. I'll stitch. Then when I'm done stitching, I'll flip this to the right side and now turn it over this way. I don't know if my explanation was not so clear, but all I did right here was very clear. So this is how you do it. Fix your button at that point and tack. Then for the rope, I'm actually going to fold the top part and then fold the two sides and fold it again and stitch to the very end. Now this is it. This is all I've done so far. You can see our shirt is actually coming together. I fixed my sleeve and exactly what I showed you how to fix this stuff at the sides of our sleeve, I did the same thing. So the next thing now is to actually stitch or work on the side for our drawstring or our ruche effect. So all I'm going to do right here now is that I'm going to pin this, okay, just to open up the sides of my shirt. Okay, then I'm going to make this relax properly. I'm going to open this and make this relax properly. From the base, I'll take note of my folding allowance of 1.5 inches. Okay, so that my ruchiness will not affect my folding. Then from that point, I marked 7.5 inches upward. So if you want your ruched effect to get up to your half length, it's still okay. And make it 10 inches long. Okay, then I'm now going to stitch the edges from this 7.5 inches all the way down to that 1.5 inches, but just take about quarter of an inch at the sides like this inside and stitch. So my stitches will stop at these both chalk marks I have right here. Okay, so just fold them quarter of an inch. As you can see, I'm doing right here. Okay, so I'll just do that, and at the end of the day, I've worked with one part. You can see how nice it's looking. This other part, I'll show you all how I fixed my rope. So all you're going to do is that on that chalk mark, on exactly that chalk mark, I pinch this upward and I'll just give this a little cut. So this cut, make sure that it doesn't show at the right side of your shirt or your dress. Okay, so I just pinch this and I'm making a little opening. This cut now is just at the inner part of my dress. It's not showing at the right side of my dress, because if it shows at the right side of your dress, you are definitely not going to wear this dress again. Okay, so just be careful on this cut. Okay, you can see nothing actually showed here. That is how you go about it. So the next thing is to now fix this my rope, which I have already. I'll pass it through from the base all the way to the upper part and pass it through from the other side and bring it out from the other cut I have. That is how simple it is. Yes, that is it. Now that is it now for the ruched part of our shirt. The next I'll be fixing will be the collar. So arrange your shirt into two like this and I'll pin it, making sure that the front part aligns and also the shoulder parts. So when this happens, I'll pin it and measure out my neckline. So I'm trying to cut out my collar. So for your collar, it's either you make use of a comb stay or a peplum stay. Peplum stay is actually hard. A gum stay is more like paper. So here I'm using this peplum stay, which I use for a flare that I later loosed. But this wasn't a nice idea at all because of the flare effect. But that's by the way. I'm just going to make a straight line. So I'm not using my marker because this is a white shirt. I don't want it to stain my dress at the end of the day. So I marked my neckline of 7 3/4, and for the height, this is my collar stand. Now I'm marking 1 inch. Then I'll also extend it this way to meet that point. At that other end, I'm going to curve this slightly from the top part so that I can have that curvy effect at the collar stand. So I'm trying to cut out the collar and the collar stand at once. So all I'm going to do is to subtract at least 1 inch from what I have as my neckline on top of my collar stand this way. And then for the height of my collar, I'll be marking just 2 inches. So these 2 inches, after marking it, I'll come to this other side that is folded in, and I'll come down by half of an inch from this point here. Then I'll connect it from this other side into this half of an inch. Then at this other side of my collar, I'll extend it by half of an inch and slant it into my collar stand. So after this, I'll cut this out exactly the way I've marked this on my peplum stay. So after cutting this out, I'm going to get my fabric. Please ignore the way this looks because this was because it was not straight, but I just had to make use of it at the end of the day with little manipulations that was made. And I'm going to get my the remnants of my fabric. I'm going to fold this into two this way. Make sure you're folding the wrong side. Then I'll place this my collar on it and iron it out perfectly so that it comes or sticks to my fabric. After doing that, go on ahead and stitch it all around, leaving the base of your collar stand. Then you're going to also cut it as well. Be careful not to cut through your threads. And when I was done doing that, now I left about half of an inch at the base. So I'll turn this to the right side and I'm going to iron this out properly. Now this is what I have. I'll iron this out properly and you can see what I have so far. So the next is to fix this to my neckline. So the part that I'm fixing or stitching to my neckline first is the part I iron my peplum stay. So right side of my collar facing the right side of my fabric on the neckline area, I'm going to pin this. Then that 1 inch that was left for my on my collar, that is what I'm going to be using to stitch. All right, on the neckline here, I'll stitch it straight after pinning, then I'll flip it this way and now turn it over. Thank you all so much for watching. Fix your buttons. Have a good time ahead of you all. And I hope to see you next time on the same channel. Bye.